Factory Town again. So we left off yesterday. We had just finished the reinforced plank line. So I think what the next order of business is going to be is to split this bottom line of iron and take 60% of whatever comes out of this barn and turn it into a pickaxe. So, first things first, we'll need to divert this into two appropriate lines. I guess the question is, let me find, okay, there we go, clear that, clear the grabber, so now this barn will start to fill up, and then I can actually go through and modify it. Because I do need to split it before I go through the effort of figuring out where I want to place the pickaxe aspect of it all. I took a chunk out of the scaffolding. Okay, so this should fill up. Not insanely fast, but relatively quickly. For any reason that I would need to keep the game paused, I don't think so. I guess I might be running out of blue coins while this is happening. So maybe yes. Okay, so using the system from yesterday, we kind of have to divert it in two ways. So I'll start with a base platform of 5. And then honestly, this can just go straight into a workshop. I think I will give it an extra block gap though, because I'm scared that if I don't, it'll get sucked into the workshop before the computer has a chance to verify that it works. Okay. Okay, and honestly, probably don't need packagers for this output either. Almost to the point where I'm questioning if I really need the packager, but I guess I am. Yeah, I won't even need 2 lines either, I don't think. I don't know. I'll keep it up for now and I can trash it if that ends up not being the case. But for now then, I will at least modify it so that some of the items are pickaxes. Yeah, it's like everything runs slow enough that I don't really need to do it this way. Okay. Then I think I won't. Trash the packager, delete all of this, and then I'll just hook it up directly. But it made more sense with the food setup because that runs on a slower clock than this, but this can run, this is running on like an 8-second cycle, so there's plenty of time for items to travel. Okay, let's see, so I need a workshop. Set it to craft pickaxes, so I'll have 2 iron and 1 reinforced plank. Ooh, but I need to actually have it split between 2 workshops because they take too long otherwise. So, guess I'll just move it. Yeah, it won't be wildly difficult to change the setup for it. Okay, so move this back up here, clone it and build a second one, preferably in the right spot. And also set it to be pickaxes. I guess I could have seen that if I had actually looked at my little thing right here. What is it? 1.5 buildings. Okay. Alright, so we'll just throw that there and throw a splitter on it. Perfect. Okay, so for this setup, we need a pusher, and it needs to be deactivated. Then I guess we'll build all of my logistics on this other side. Okay, so I remember I need an agent block, or an agent trigger that looks at the pusher. and then counts using a counter. That counter then needs to push to a math block, and it needs to check if it is greater than the number of items that are going through. So in this case, 3 items need to, wait, let me see. No, it needs to be 2. So once it's greater to 2, it'll activate the pusher. Then, using a separate agent trigger that looks at the block next to the pusher, we will do the same thing, except this one be set to, I think this one needs to be greater or equal to 3. So once the third block enters the system, then this will go through, it will push a number block that is set to 0 that will reset the counters. So this connects to that, connects to that, connects to that, connects to both of these. Alright. And I guess I can use another barn, just as like an intermediary. So the system is visually closed. I could have spread it out a bit better. I've wasted this space right here, but that doesn't really matter. Okay. So for now, I should probably just run a few items through to make sure it works. Okay, it does not. Why is it resetting? It's not supposed to. This counter block isn't even going up. Something else connected to this that shouldn't be. Oh, of course. It's pushing its value, but I only need to push the value if it's true. Okay. I guess let me put a blocker down. I need to actually build my path out of the second barn so that I can sell the items. So I'll reset this. Okay, I guess I have to reset it now that the items have actually gone through. Okay. So this math block is still producing an output, but it isn't checking to make sure that that output is accurate. And that wasn't an issue before because it didn't need to verify, it just needed to reset. I forgot about that. Oh well, this will work. I should only need one path out after everything gets split correctly. Okay, so I guess it is for the best that I have more space then, so I might end up needing it. Then this begs the question, how do I go about fixing this? So right now it's sending out a false value, but I only need a true value. So probably a signal gate. Block that will pass messages if the gate is open. Set block to set gate state. Okay. So then I think the way that this will work is I will add a logic link, but I will also add a set logic block. So this will set it to false, which will cause it to reject the input until it is true, and then it will push the reset system. You know, let's just throw down a little logic lamp. I want to put it there because it'll look cool, but I don't think it's actually going to help me. Delta block. I wonder if this could be helpful at all. Maybe, but I don't think I need it. I think this will work. That is the wrong spot for that. Let's see, pusher and set. So this will connect through, which will push, which will do that, which will reset both of these. Okay, so, alright, there's still space in here, so I don't have to worry about moving things through it. I guess I can let the barn empty. Just so I can see what I'm doing, mostly. Okay. Let's deactivate this and see if it counts correctly now. 1, 2, 3. Oh. It is very wrong, apparently. Wait, no, that is right. Let's see. So, but it's counting too many. So 4 are going down, and I only need 3. I think it has to do with the relationship between the set block and the actual push. I can change this so that it's greater than or equal to 2, but that doesn't intuitively explain why it's doing what it's doing. Also, it seems to just be glitching out, so I think we need to do this in a different way. These are almost full, so honestly what I'm probably going to have to do is get them hooked up so that they can actually produce their items and then output. Okay, so I've got iron, and I'll need a packager to unpack it. Okay. So how do I want to unpack it? Got options. I could put the packager directly below the workshops and then pipe up to it, and that's 2 pipes per workshop, which should be enough, considering it won't be going very fast. I think that'll work. It's relatively streamlined. What I should do is I should change the route of this so it goes underneath the minecarts to save on footprint. So how high off the ground is this? 3 blocks. Okay. So now I need a packager. Unpack items from crates. Unfortunately, I'm going to lose a bunch of iron in the process of rerouting this, but it's not like it really matters. And I can use these little scaffold pillars to help me more clearly identify where I need to build my things. Let's see. I guess I'll just have it cut through right here. I don't even need to be deleting as much as I am, but okay, so to here. Well, maybe I do. And last turn into the thing. It's to be right there. Okay. Just have to build the path and connect it up. Okay. So with this, we'll have the bottom line ready. So it turns, goes this way, turns again, and last but not least, goes into the packager. Perfect. Now build a line above it. And this one's a little bit harder to see what I'm doing just because I'm working with the little pillars, but nothing that can't be solved. Connected, yes. Okay. So now I have to try and fit all these ones. Alright, and then the arches. It's like I'm tilting my head as if somehow that's going to actually change my camera angle, but it's just this biological urge. That's the way 3D space works, so obviously it must work in this case. Need Factory Town VR. this line up. This one's not cooperating, unfortunately. There we go. Okay, so both lines are hooked up. Now I need to actually hook up the output from the packager. Could do a fifth line just for safety's sake. I mean, there's no real reason not to. Not gonna get in my way or anything, I don't believe. So sure, why not? Everything gets 2.5 lines now. Need a silo. Where's a silo? Here's a bunch of silos. I do also actually need to rework this mana network, because I can do that without having to delete anything, but it should be more efficient afterwards. But I need to get this set up first. So I need all the grabbers to pull from the packager, and we will go up to the next level. Okay, so now it's on level with the reinforced planks. And then I need to make the output from the workshops that leads to, and honestly can just travel on top of the reinforced plank line. How high up does this need to be? It does need to be at that height, okay. Works out perfectly. Look at that, beautiful. Okay, we shouldn't have any fighting on this line just because of how slowly it runs. But if worse comes to worse, I'll just have to change it. Alright, so here comes the iron. So look at the packager to make sure it's working. Okay, so these are getting iron now, which means they should start producing pickaxes. And they will flow down the line, and everything is all good. We'll see a spike in happiness, or at least a slight spike. And then shortly these will run out of resources. Okay, so now these are free, which means that I can now properly test this system. So, the logic gate doesn't seem to be working the way I want it to. How do I ignore false input? I know if I use a bool function, I guess maybe this is where the delta block will come in. This is going to be odd, because I haven't worked with the delta block before. So I think I can set this back to 3. So now what this should do I guess we'll see what happens, because I think its current state is true. So when it gets its first false, it's going to do something I don't want it to do. Oh. Perhaps it needs to be set. Okay, turn the blocker back on. These will take care of themselves, which is good. Okay. Delta block. Received values will be stored, but only sent out if different than last stored value. Then it shouldn't have been pushing. Okay, that's not gonna work. Only pass messages if the gate is open. How have I not run into this issue before? Certainly would have ran into it with the fish, right? Speaking of which, how are these guys doing? Okay, so they still even haven't reached this yet, so it's not an issue currently. So maybe there's something I can learn from here. And probably not, because this is more of a Boolean state, I suppose. Either it's on or it's not on. What's going on here? How's this setup doing? Seems like I'm running out of fertilizer. I guess to be fair, once I get my warm coat built, I can just pipe the fertilizer to this barn. Or whichever barn I need to pipe it into to get it into this system. Y'all are being tricky. Okay, so these need to be reset. Which is probably part of the problem. So this greater than 2 activates this. Could I just count the number that passed through, and then when it's greater than 4, it resets? And I don't actually need to look at... Or no, that was the problem, is that... Because it activates immediately on the 3rd block, which means it will deactivate immediately. So then that last block will be allowed to pass through, even though it's not supposed to. I feel like the signal gate is the answer, I just can't figure it out. I don't know why this is triggering. And I passed items, or when I pass the logic through it, if it's only supposed to do it when it's not, or when it's different. Okay, I guess we will use the signal gate. So we'll need a logic set. Can I use a logic push as well? To kind of delay the way that this works? So maybe it will fire in the correct order? Okay, well... we'll at least go from here. So I need the number block, need the push block, need the set block. So this will activate the pusher, which will activate the number block, which activates the set, which resets the counters. So let's see what happens when I let items through again. So 1, 2, 3rd item gets pushed down, then deactivates the system. Why? Is this even counting? How is this linked? Why is this... okay, so a signal gate is pushing that it's closed. Fucking brilliant. Okay. Why is it suddenly working now? 2 are going out, 3 are going in. Wonder if it was literally just the order that I hooked this up. I mean, I wouldn't put it past the game. It just is like a little wonky if you ask me. Okay, so it's seems to be relatively balanced. It is running at a slight surplus on this end's front, but that's fine. Once they're full, they'll start selling. Actually, wait, that is weird. Did I get my ratio backwards? Let's see. No, because the pickaxe, if I look over here, it takes 1.5 reinforced planks, and I'm making 2.5 per cycle. I guess part of it is that I have a surplus, so forgot, I do have to actually duplicate this whole system on another level. Shit. Okay, well, should probably get started on that. I guess I'll delete the blocker, since I know that at least the bottom works. Okay, I think part of it right now is that the system is backed up, so it is pushing an artificially high number of items through it, which is why these are not able to keep up, but in due time it will sort out its life. Okay. So now the question is, do I just build on top of this? And I feel like the answer is yes, but I want to do it in a way that I can keep track of how I'm doing it. Okay, so pusher there, counter here, links with the counter, math block there, links with the math block. Greater than 2. Math block, or the counter block pushes the math block, which pushes the pusher. Next level. Other one, other logic pusher, checks for items that have entered the system. Then it also hits a counter. The counter compares itself to a math block, which is greater than or equal to 3. The math block then, in a very specific order, needs to hook to a logic set block that is connected to a signal gate, and then also to said signal gate. Okay, so math block to signal gate to, or math block to logic set to signal gate, math block to signal gate. Then signal gate hits a pusher, hits a 0, which hits a set. Okay, let's see how it goes. Alright, so this one's working as well. Beautiful. So these will actually fill up, but that's whatever. And then the rest will all get sold. Interestingly enough, I think the system like breaks if it jams. Guess we'll see. Okay, no, it does reset. It just so that's actually good to know. The system repairs itself even after jamming. That's good. So we'll see a nice spike in happiness. We should see blue coins going up, which they are, and now we can continue onwards. I've actually kind of done this incorrectly because I forgot I need to split this line 2 ways. Because I also need to make gears with it. I mean, it might as well just split it here. It's a pretty easy spot to access. So how many buildings do I need running gears? Need 4 buildings making gears. Okay. Yeah, if it was 3, it'd be a lot easier to hook up. 4 is not impossible, though. I don't think, at least. Okay. The question is, I guess I have my iron here, so I can rely on the iron here. I can build my machine shops for the gears, pipe the iron into the machine shop that's producing metal conveyors, and then the gears are right there, and then I just have to build my wood conveyor aspect. Just. So I'm kind of skipping a step here, but I think it'll work. So let's get a packager put down right up next to this line. And throw down some splitters. Like, I can grab one real quick and easily from right here. And same with the packager. Okay. Unpack. So now I need 4 machine shops. This is low enough that I can go over them with the other metal, even though their hitbox is 1,000 feet in the air. But that's beside the point. Okay, so one here. I could move it back by 1 block, I think. Let's see, how much space do I have here? I do have 6 blocks of space here, so that'll work. Honestly, I might as well just put them on the ground. No, I can't. I need them to be on level with this so that I can use 2 lines to feed in. But wow, it fits perfectly. That is very nice. Well, perfectly. But it then gives me a little bit of space to feed them into perhaps a barn if I want to. Yes, I think this is how I want to do this. Okay. Don't really need to put scaffold on the other end. Buildings. Machine shop. Set these all to be gears. Because gears take forever to make. Same thing with the metal conveyor is pretty brutal as well. Let's see, how many buildings does that one take? That one only takes 1.5. What's the... Oh, I need a lot more gears than metal conveyors, though. It would take more if it was an equal ratio, but it is ultimately not an equal ratio. Okay, so then build all of my outputs from the packager into my machine shops. Get some grabbers. And build a second layer. Okay. So we should see this system fill up pretty quickly, and as a result have these start filling up with gears, which is nice. I have to figure out what I want to do with the gears. So I need 2 machine shops making the... Need 2 machine shops that are actually producing the metal conveyors, but I think I might have a hard time if I try to build them above these right now. I might want to condense my gears into like a barn. Even though I could very... I guess the problem is that I need space for the packager to get the iron into them as well, and that's more of a tall ask than I'm really willing to mess with right now. Okay, so then I guess I need to output these into a barn. Question is where? Probably just where the packager is, but a couple blocks forward. That gives me a consolidated location from which to work. You can basically copy what I did on the back, but on the front. I'm a little weary about the iron line, but I think this will be fine. Get some grabbers. Probably only need 1 line coming out of these, but yeah, it's not even close. mean, that does make life a little easier then. So where do I want my two that are producing? My two machine shops. Probably at the end of this line, because that gives me all of this infrastructure to work with to build the cloth conveyor belt, as well as over here, I suppose, and it gives me a nice line that I can kind of go out and around with this existing system to feed into the general store. So the next question is specifically where. I should probably at this point get my iron line over here, because that's going to determine a lot of how and where I place this. Especially because now that there are machine shops here, it's going to be very difficult to modify this line. It does look kind of cool, though. I do like the way that the way it is clipped in is nicer than it usually clips into things. Okay, so I'll probably throw my packager right here. Do I want to make it flush with the barn? Probably flush with the barn. It's just one layer higher. Okay, packager. Unpack from crate. Then, on this lower level, build my machine shops. I've got two of them. I can pump the gears in on the bottom, and I can pump the iron in on the top, but then how do I pump in the cloth conveyors? What else do I need besides that as well? I just need the cloth conveyor. Once I've got the iron and the gears, that's all good. So, well, let's see. If I space these out, that does access more space to pump in the... I guess I could be really sketchy about it and pump in the gears from the bottom, the iron from the top, and then slot the cloth conveyors in the middle. Which seems like a dangerous route, but might be my best course of action. I guess also, to be fair, I don't... What am I talking about? Yeah, I can just... Yeah, I'm making this more complex than I need to. I can just use minecarts. And then I just have to stack the inputs. So I'll have the... I will still have the iron come in from the top, but then I can have the gears on a minecart and then have the cloth conveyor belts probably on a separate minecart. So metal conveyor. I might want to... I do like the packager just sitting on top of the other machine shop, but I'll probably want to build this before I get too far. Yes, I am still running into the same issue, and I didn't realize that I was running into the same issue. I guess, let's see. I can feed... Oh, I can just feed it in on the sides, duh. Because the amount of iron going through it isn't going to be that absurd. But in that case, I might actually want to move this setup slightly. If I jog it one block forward, then it will be in a space that is more conducive. Well, no, because it's flush with the barn right now, which is really convenient. I guess I'll just hope that 2 lines is enough input, and it should be. I don't know why it wouldn't be. I suppose I can speed it up if I have to using minecarts. But it's just not preferable. So I think we'll be good without it then. But I should build this before I put my machine shop back. Okay. to go down farther than I thought I did. No, I don't. Yeah. There we go. Just have to go up. Alright, so where's my silos? Actually needs to be one block further. There we go. So if I put all this down, I can actually see what I'm doing, which is a nice benefit. Here's some silos I can borrow. Okay. Don't even really need that many minecarts on this system. I'll probably have one like every 5 blocks or something, every 4. Yeah, that's fine. Hooray! Okay, so these will get gears and immediately fill up. Honestly, it might even be able to be sustained with 1 minecart, but I guess I'll have 4 running on it because why not? Okay, so this is an outputting, probably because I didn't use any grabbers. I guess they did change the way that you build things, so I'm not clipping into the machine shop as I tried to place it. Okay, so now the difficult part, building a cloth conveyor line. So here's my space to work with. I know I'm going to need... Wait. God, this lumber mill. Wait, hold on. Hold the phone. What's the deal? Why don't I have enough planks? Did I only calculate planks based on the amount I would need for reinforced planks? I might have. 5 planks. No, I didn't. It's just that this system is running faster than it should be, so it's stealing all of them. This is supposed to be running a deficit on some material, but that material's not supposed to be planks. I guess to be fair, my mines are super boosted, but then shouldn't my... Yeah, these are limited by their output. This is full. Okay, so these aren't running at full capacity, but that's beside the point. You know what, I think before I get too far, I'm just going to change the... setup for the earth shrines. So what we need to do is I need to build a barn. And I need to delete these receivers, but I don't want to because they're full. I need to siphon all of the crystals out. So I guess what I can do is I only need to connect 1 line, and then I'll just delete the input for the other part. Once all the crystals exit the system, then we can modify it without losing anything, pump everything back in, and we'll be all good to go. I guess I don't... The problem is I don't really want to pump all depleted crystals, but I guess that's what I'm going to do because that's how the system works. Okay, so rotate all these so they're facing out, and then go to the mana network and delete the receiver nodes. Okay, I didn't mean to delete that one while it had a crystal on it, but oh well. Okay, so as the crystals deplete, they will feed out of the system and into the barn. So what I want to do is all I have to do is rotate everything, but then I can hook it up so that each line of 4 utilizes 1 set of rechargers instead of them trying to share. So like, technically the ratio of recharges will be the same, but the issue is that the pipes, there's not enough pipe volume to push everything through the system efficiently. Because it's, you know, output on one side is blocking output on the other side, and as a result it's slowing down the whole system. And that is less than ideal. And obviously this, or you can see this one on the left is running better because it's designed on 2 lines instead of 1 line, but it's still not ideal. And it's not going to be perfect. I don't think we're going to meet demand unless I pump a lot of Omni Stones into this system, but it's not 100% necessary. I do wonder though if, because I swore that, I guess I am producing more items than I need for my reinforced planks, because I'm producing more nails than I need. I'm producing the amount of iron plates that I need for the whole system. Not just that, but because I'm producing enough nails, I'm taking away from my planks. I don't know though if I'm producing 4 wood. That is a thing I'm doing. Producing 4 wood. Also, this system isn't scaled up. I forgot about that. I wonder if this is going to dramatically change any of my calculations. It shouldn't, but no, it just multiplied everything. I'm looking at the mana network. That's what happened to the map. Once I clear all this stuff and press escape, it will look probably more familiar. Oh, maybe that's not what you're getting at. Maybe you're just getting at how much of a cluster everything is. Yeah, that's just me. Okay, clear all the splitters. I'm gonna pass out. Understandable reaction. Okay, did I get all the pipes? Looks like it. Okay, so now what I need to do is go back down, and I need to rotate all of these. It should be empty at this point. The Excel sheet is just because I couldn't do math in my head. And I was tired of trying to figure it out. It doesn't work completely, but once it works completely, I like to share it. Gotta build 3D, gotta save that space, stack everything up, except I'm pretty sure the scaffold really tanks the frame rate after a while. Your brain. Okay, so let me take... How many crystals are in this barn? This system that's like so small had 750 crystals running through it. How even? Doesn't make any sense. To say moving all of these is tedious, but rebuilding them would be even more tedious, so just throw them all on the ground until I'm ready for them. I guess I can build it one at a time. How many hours into this build? I don't know off the top of my head, but probably a lot. Let me check Steam. So Steam says I'm currently at 80 hours. There's probably 60 hours into this build, but I did kind of restart halfway through so I could rebuild a lot of my original lines so that they would be more effective. Okay. So, same more or less structure, just rotated. So I want to don't really want to replace all of the scaffold, so I guess I'll just build around what it currently exists. Okay, so now do it like this. So then, once all of this is hooked back up, everything will be more separate and as a result won't jam so much. So I have the transmitters here and the receivers at the end. Oh wait, no, I need to build up first. So that line there. That's not what I want. There we go. Okay, so I need a splitter, just borrow from here. And if we go back to the Mana network, we can hook this all up. So they'll come out. I'll want to put splitters on it to try and make it a little more balanced, but it doesn't really matter, it's not going to be perfect. And then they all just feed into the receiver at the end. Now it's a nice tight loop. They don't, not as much going on, they should fit, crystals should fit a bit better. But I want to hook all of these up before I reintroduce the crystals so that I can evenly distribute them. Okay. So I'll just clear this out for now, 'cause it's just getting in my way. So first one down, I just gotta do the rest. I appear to have deleted some scaffold halfway down the line, so I'll put that back. Fill this bit in, and then just move everything. It's not like a good way to do this without deleting it all first. Okay. Well, maybe it's not the worst. Just get to what's that one board game, Rush Hour, where you get to the puzzle game where you scoot all the cars around, kind of like that. That was one of those games that you'd always see in the bookstore, and I'm like, that looks like it could be fun for a little bit, but never ended up buying it or anything. I guess to be fair, I only really went to bookstores as a kid, for the most part, and didn't have money as a kid. I'm like really hoping I did this correctly, because it's going to be a big pain to rework it if I did not. I see some towers right here that are rotated the wrong direction. I'm like, oh, they're in the right spot, so they're good. No, they need to be facing the right way as well. Okay, so that side's built, and I'll build the last side before I hook it all up. Then I can just put the barn back. Everything will be all good. Okay. Move this one, move this one, move that one. Why are these facing the wrong way? Oh, they're not rotating because I'm not actually moving them. That's the issue. So it's not updating their location. It's probably a bug worth reporting, but I'll think about it. So these should all be facing the correct direction. Raise up, build the next layer, grab my receivers. And build the last layer, hook it all up, and pipe the crystals back in. It'll take them a bit to recharge because none of them are charged at this point, but it should be okay. Okay. Mana network. Want to make sure I throw down splitters on everything before I put the crystals back in. Doing this like the long way, inadvertently. There we go. Apparently I can't just bridge it. I do have to stop it there for it to actually build the thing. I guess that makes sense. That's typical behavior. But it's not what I wanted. Wah. Okay, so this will distribute the crystals a little bit better. I mean, unfortunately, the side that needs the crystals the most is the end that's not going to be getting them, but whatever. Take the barn. Back up here. I actually need more space than this to get it all placed correctly. Because I have to split it 6 ways. I know it's on a higher level, so I'll raise it up and just build a brick in the sky, because why not? Okay, so I need one 3-way output, and then the 3-way output has to split at each of the other outputs. Or inputs, I guess. So here's the first 3-way. So go that way, that way, and that way. Then one will split here, and I guess the rest will just split closer to where they're actually being built. So splitter here and here. And this one actually needs to be hooked up. Okay, so now it should push all the crystals through and they should be divided. Interesting. So I didn't realize that this worked this way, but apparently you cannot push into a receiver. You can only receive from the mana network, which I guess makes sense, but is not what I wanted. Okay, this is going to make filling this dramatically more difficult. And it'll work for now. I think it'll mostly fit all of the items. I think we might lose a few crystals to attrition, I suppose. But I think it will still reach relative saturation. And it's going to take a long time to drain. Let me have a look at it. I know, yeah, it's going to have a bunch of dead crystals that need to be charged. But at the end of the day, cannot be charged. I guess it won't hold quite as many because there's not as much pipe space as there was before. I don't know. We'll let this run until it's backed up and then I'll delete it. Anyway, so while that's doing that, how's this going? I don't think I can rely on this lumber mill, even though I should have been able to. But ultimately cannot. It's going absolutely insane. Yeah, because that's still not producing enough. Because my assembly lines are being greedy and they're taking items they're not supposed to because I didn't tell them not to. But it's the assembly line's fault. I guess this one has finally slowed down now, but I think it's just because I've run out of planks, yeah. Why are these still outputting so... Oh, they're literally about to stop outputting so quickly. It's still going pretty fast. Hilariously enough, I'm producing more pickaxes than I am just selling the logs because of some reason I don't know. This bottom one not working correctly. I guess once it fully like hits that point where it's running slowly, this will make sense, I think. Yeah, because this should be correct as far as what I need to sell. I guess to be fair, no. I've scaled it up, but mathematically that doesn't make sense as far as how many items I need to make overall. So as a result, the pickaxes have more than they need. I mean, the line will jam up once we hit higher levels of system saturation. Just don't know about the other line. I guess to be fair, this, well, yeah, thankfully I had the foresight to put these math blocks on the outside of this setup so I can just change the ratios pretty easily. But as far as I'm concerned right now, if I can sell the pickaxes, I might as well sell them because they're worth more than the reinforced planks. Maybe I should just swap this ratio real quick. Because they're worth more, but they also are more satisfying to the people. So the people actually need, in order to stay satisfied, need more. They need more reinforced planks. Okay, so we should see this line taper down a bit, and we should see this, yes, a substantial increase. Alright, I can mess with it a bit more. The nature of this setup also means that if I modify only the top level, it will have less of an impact than if I modify the bottom layer, because most of the product goes through the bottom, whereas only some of it goes through the top. I think we'll still be fine. We'll do a better job of meeting demand as a result. So now we can go back to this, and I guess I'll just build a forester. This system's going to be a little wasteful, but I cannot rely on the existing forester. It's like I feel a little bad about it because it's not like in the whole spirit of this setup where I'm not supposed to be running excess of things, but obviously that's just the nature of it. There's a slight goal of trying to keep workers low, but of course I guess if that was really true, then I wouldn't be running all of these packagers to pack all these items. Okay, so where do I want this? If I put it right here, it's in line with the shops, but I'm kind of running, well, that's fine, yeah. I was gonna say I'm kind of running into stuff, but that's not the biggest deal. I'll have the forester here. I guess to be fair, I do need cotton or wool. Probably wool because I do need fuel from the other systems, but that's gonna be an issue, isn't it? I think I need more cloth than that. No, I should be able to satisfy my need with only one sheep. I guess the actual issue there is getting water, because I don't have any water in this system. I am going to have to build water for this system though, because I'm going to need it for warm coats. Yeah, because I need 3 wool, 1.5 leather, and 1.5 shirts, which I'll also probably make. That might just be cotton. How much does a shirt cost? Because I could just consolidate all of that. I guess I'll get this forester built, and I'll build it over here. Yeah, sure. Get it over here completely. No, because that actually runs into things I can't build on. What? No, it needs as much space as it can have because foresters are very greedy boys. Okay, so a shirt takes 2 cloth if I'm not mistaken. I think I have shirts set up on here, but I guess I'll find out. Shirt. 8 seconds. 1.5 shirts. I do. Takes 1.5 cloth, so it is a 1-to-1 ratio. So I need 2 1/4 cloth. If I do it from cotton, then I still need more than 1 farm producing cotton. Or no, that's the cloth. How many? That's why I need 2 workshops. How about just cotton directly? So, an 8-second clock cycle, roughly 2.5, but I guess it's rounded up, so sure, let's do 2.26. I'd only need 1 farm. The issue is just that the workshops wouldn't be able to produce it fast enough, but I'm still gonna have that issue even with wool. So I might as well just build 1 cotton farm. And then I still need wool, but then I won't have to use it for everything. I could just use it directly for what actually requires the wool. And then I'll still be running a fuel surplus since the only part of the system that uses fuel is producing it through lava. And then I'll be able to make sure that my medical line has all of the fuel it needs by piping over the fertilizer from this line. And then as a result, I think we will see a happiness spike because I think some of those lines aren't meeting demand because there's not enough fuel. Namely the, I guess it would just be the elixirs, wouldn't it? Yeah, I'm not producing enough health potions because I don't have enough remedies because I don't have... Okay, what's the deal with this one? Oh, this is the area that's building the antidotes. Hilariously enough, the part of the system that is building remedies seems to be the part that is jammed up. They're not producing like as quickly as possible. Yeah, because only half of that line has fuel. The other half does not have fuel. That's this issue here, is that these 1/2 of this system has run out of... I understand it in the sense that I know that there's a priority level to where grabbers pull from, but it is crazy that just how I connected this building has caused 1/2 of this system to fail, and the other half is more or less fine. What's this? Is this ointment? Ointment seems to be running at a pretty high rate. The medical bandages are still just slow as shit, but I think they're okay. It's something I can fight later, because they're all about cloth. This one's backed up. Yeah, it just isn't producing... Well, no, because that line on the bottom is full. This one's full, so this one is limited completely by how quickly the machine can produce it, which is fine. This one doesn't have enough input. Is there a way to fix that? I don't need to fix that. It sorts that problem upstream. Spellbooks are probably just doing whatever. Spellbooks. Are there any points that they're having issues with? Obviously they're not producing books fast enough, but they were never producing books fast enough. And I think paper's probably still the culprit, based on how fast I can pump out. Yep, we've still got enough leather. You know. That being said, it is running on slower. this is running at above the clock cycle it needs to, so. Okay. I got distracted. I didn't even finish placing my tree planters. Do I have space for a cotton farm there? I kinda do. Yeah, it's not great, but it'll work. Now I'll just have to divide it based on need. Let's see, if I need 2 1/4, which is equal to 9 quarters, which unfortunately is not an amazing ratio to work off of. Wait, that's not... I can't split that because that's not going 2 ways. Okay, so one thing takes 1 1/2. The other thing takes... Okay, so I actually can just use a 3-way splitter and then have 2 of the lines from the 3-way splitter feed to the same source, namely the source that's making shirts. And then the other cloth will go to the line that is making cloth conveyor belts. Okay. I almost wildly overcomplicated something that did not need to be complicated. I feel sad that there's just this empty space right here. Maybe I'll have to build something there to make it feel included. Forgot about all these wells. And I'm gonna have to do the same thing over here too. But at least that I know that going in, I can consolidate it a bit better since I won't be able to build floating wells this time, and then have to rework the whole system when they update the game. It was a fair update though, wells were overpowered. I could use water crystals, but I don't want to. Mostly because I am still kind of like teetering as far as gold coins. I think I am still slowly going down. Not as much, but still am losing money on that front, and I only really have one option that I haven't built yet to earn that. We'll really know once we get all this hooked up if we're doing fine, if we can switch things based on whether or not my red coins goes to 1.4 million or goes to 1.2 million. If it goes to 1.2, then we have to panic, but otherwise we're fine. Okay, so I'll kind of duplicate what I've got going on over here with this system. So it looks like I just used barns, moved it up. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. I don't even remember why I used barns. I don't think it needed to be barns, but sure, we'll use barns. I guess technically, if you've got the space, barns are better now than silos, since you can upgrade them. Because a barn can hold slightly more. Oh yes. Why did I place all of those manually? I totally forgot. I could just plant them all pretty quickly, but whatever. A barn can hold a small percentage more of items per square than a silo can. Okay, so how did I build these lumber mills? Oh, they actually don't need this path in the middle. Oh, and it's nice and close to the other lines, but there's still like a little path in between. How cute. Actually, that might not be the case. I might run into an issue here. Yeah, I'm going to run into an issue here. Okay, so this setup cannot be as robust spatially as the other one was, because I don't have the room on the sides to do that. So I'm going to have to get creative. Although it might not be necessary anyway. I'll just cross my fingers and hope that it isn't. That's the way to go about it, right? Okay, I'll pause the game real quick while I build all this. Need some grabbers and a splitter. Looks like I'm done feeding crystals into my system, so I should probably check on that and actually get it working again. And then as far as this is concerned, I have enough space to do one line on the sides. So hopefully 2.5 points of input is enough to keep these lumber mills running at maximum capacity. I guess to be fair, that is more lines of input than the barn has, so as long as the forester is able to output consistently, which it seems like it can, then we're in the clear. So those filled up instantly, but that's to be expected. So I can delete all this and then put my rechargers back where they're supposed to be. Okay. Hopefully they just work. Otherwise I might have to mess with stuff, because I know that the network doesn't like accepting new things. Okay, it is just working. That is nice. Okay, I'll have a look at the network to see how it's working now. Because we should actually see things start to filter through. Unless they are just... that's the best that they can do, I guess. I mean, it's better than it was as far as pushing crystals through it, but it's still not as good as it could be. But the only way to go from now would be to expand the recharger network on the other side. Basically break this down so each one only gets 2 earth shrines. But I think that that is excessive for something that is not so crucial. I don't know. They'll keep the boosts on the mines high, which is not even wildly necessary at the moment because I'm not utilizing all of the resources. How's this doing? Now that it's kind of filtered through more naturally, so interestingly enough, now we have run out of iron. Why have we run out of iron? Something has gone wrong. Something somewhere is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. We don't have enough fuel. Why don't we have enough fuel? What has happened to the fuel network? Don't tell me I deleted something, it just jammed up the whole fuel network. Only half of the fuel, only a small portion of the fuel network is even accepting input. The rest is just passing through for some reason. That's curious. Okay. Are these rechargers blocking it? Is that a thing? Is that a thing? Oh my gosh, I think that's a thing. Why? The system worked so well before. It's like there's too many items in the way, it can't pierce all the way down. I guess I'll move the rechargers and see if that works. Hope and pray that it does. Because like some of these have more buildings to go through than that. Unless maybe I have to like replace the earth or the fire shrines to remind the game that they exist. Because this is not a problem that I've ever had before. I've never had it where buildings that cannot accept mana have blocked things. Because these crystals are charged, are they? Aren't they? They look charged. Okay, so it's working on this side. Working on that side. Is the barn going to block these ones? I have never had to have sky access before. Is there like a secret update I didn't notice? Let me just delete them and replace them. Remove them. Okay, yeah, they just needed to be moved. Well, yeah, that's literally all they needed. Okay, the game is just freaking out apparently. Except some of these were not built in a place that makes them easy to move. Ooh, this is not less than ideal. Okay, throw them all back where they're supposed to be. You working now? Okay. Y'all good? What about y'all? I guess I'll move them. Ooh, I put it underneath one. That's probably an issue. Also an odd bug. I'm sure the Mana Network just loves what I'm doing to it right now. Okay, so I can probably put the rechargers back then. I think it was just a fluke. Probably had something to do with me messing with the Earth network. Didn't like it. Said, get off my land. You know, mana pipes are very territorial. Is it working now? Sort of. No, okay. So putting the rechargers back broke the system again. Okay, what if I move them with the rechargers already in place? Well, that works. Why is this doing this? Except these I have to like move them one at a time because I can't reach them otherwise. Okay, so now those should all be working, right? Okay, yes, all of those are working. Now I have to do it with this side again. In the name of science. What a bizarre anomaly. Okay. Now with the fuel network sorted again, our lines should go back to where they were. And we'll see output resume. Yes, items are flying through at amazing speeds. Okay, so these are full and they need to be output into a barn. Honestly, no, they can be output directly into workshops, because they will be making wooden wheels. I believe that that's all that they'll be doing. Yes, no, maybe so. Because let's see, I need them for the cloth conveyor belt. Yes, so they'll just be making wooden wheels. Alright. Yeah, alright. Alright. So I'll just use silos to move them from the lumber mills themselves. Now we can actually go over. Interestingly enough, now some of these mines are not... Oh, these ones were always kind of running out. It's these ones that are always full. Okay, well, we'll get there eventually. As long as we meet demand, that's the only thing that matters. We are getting close that once I get all of these hooked up, we could start seeing some of the lines that are built a little more, I guess, liberally with their resource usage might start backing up. Because anything that's going like way faster than the required cycle clock could hit the point where it's meeting satisfaction in the town. But right now that is not the case with anything. Okay, buildings. workshop, and wood wheels. So I do need stone bricks. I don't think I have that anywhere on here, do I? 0.7 stone bricks. Oh, I can't type? Well, let me just start typing. Gotta scroll down and find it. Come on, Excel, you're better than this. Apparently it's not. So I need... Scroll up. 0.75. It only takes one stonemason. Probably only one mine as well. Yes, only one mine. This is gonna cost yellow coins. Okay. Helps if I hook these in. And then I want to build my cotton farm first. Let's see if I go back to this. So one cotton farm is going to be more than enough to produce all the cloth. I just have to split it between two workshops. Okay, so there's all my wheels. Let me build the cotton farm. Tools, flatten down. No, I want lower. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So it goes there. No, I need it to be here. Put it dead center where I need to build my farm, but that's not how you do it. Okay, so here's 4, here's 4. This needs to go up. Things go up. Alright. Now I can fit my one cotton farm here. Buy water and grow cotton. I just have to actually place the farm tiles. Okay. What's in range of the sugar farm? I'm like, what farm is that in range of? There's sugar over there. I like wedge my camera around all the scaffolding. Remember this time that you can place cotton much more quickly, or you can plant things very quickly now. It will make my life easier if I do it that way, because then I won't have any camera hijinks. Right, plant cotton. I don't have any cotton in a shared inventory. That's both surprising and unfortunate. Where do I use cotton anywhere? Now that I think about it, I've used wool for everything. There's some cotton over here at least. Okay, so I guess I will build a couple of farms to pump it into barns to get me going. Okay. Barn. And upgrade it. Why not? Okay, get some grabbers. Alright, so this will start filling up as quickly as it can, although it's going to... No, these are full resources because they're naturally placed ones, so they'll be good for a little while. Yellow coins are going down. My yellow coins are going down pretty quickly still. So I do need to get that sorted. And I don't want to have to switch to stamina spellbooks, mostly just because I'm lazy, but it might end up having to be the thing. Not going down so quickly that it'll catch me by surprise, but still disconcerting to say the least. Okay, so honestly what I should do then is utilize this farm as a storage point for cotton as well as a producer of cotton. So I'll use a barn on the back, which will put enough cotton into shared inventory that I can hopefully work from it, or work from there. It is too close to an existing assembly line, I'm realizing. I guess it's not. No, I can go this way, it'll be fine. It's just moderately irritating. I didn't think that one through. Okay, so need a barn. A barn that I can copy, upgrade it, throw the grabbers down here. Now I can go and delete the ones that were just filling up this barn wherever they were. Over here. Oh, they already killed the cotton. Goodbye, cotton. Like, I felt a little bad about that, but oh well. Okay, so this barn will fill up, which will also give me a nice buffer to work with. Now I need 2 workshops. They'll be on the level of the lumber mill, so I will have to go up. Because I don't really have to. I'm better off bringing the wagon wheels down, because the mine will be on the same level as this. But the way that I'll want to build this is I'll want to have 1 workshop. Let's see. Probably 1 workshop. I guess, let me think. Do I need to consolidate this? I think the answer was yes, I did need to consolidate this. Okay, so I do need both of my workshops feeding into a central point, aka a barn. And then I can distribute it appropriately from there to the required things, which will also bring this up a level, I think, to where I need it to be. Oops. Okay. Oh, that is farther over than I needed it to be. What this gives me. Oops. What am I doing here? There we go. This gives me space for the 2 of those, and they'll go up into a barn. Basically just reverse what's going on here on the next level up. And then that barn will split. Now that conveyor is facing the wrong way. Explain it. Like, why does that one not have anything on it? I don't understand. Well, that's a good reason. I did it wrong. Not running into that at all? No, good. It looks a little wonky, but I guess that's just because it's has to be shaped oddly in order to fit. Couldn't build it like I built the lumber mill. Okay, grab out of here, and this is my cloth barn. Beautiful. Okay, so it's just gonna pump out as quickly as it can. Oh yeah, and one farm is still outpacing the workshops. Seems a little weird. I guess it just has a backlog it has to work through. Okay, so we have cotton and it's accessible. Now I need to output it and split it. Okay, do I go up? Because this is on a half step compared to workshops. I can't split it and do what I need to do, so I think the answer is no. Okay, so where do I want my workshop? Because I also have to, wherever I build this is going to impact where I build my mine. I think 2 lines feeding out of this will be satisfactory, I hope at least. Okay. I guess to be fair, I can go this way with it. So I could build my mine here, have it go up, have a workshop like right here, and then connect the mine on this point on the front, these on that side, this on this side. I guess that doesn't really work because I still need an output side. Unless I feed everything in from like the top, but that's less than ideal. Ultimately I have to get it down here and distribute it evenly. So I guess, honestly, what I should probably do is just build the workshop right here. And build my little minecart system. I guess I won't really be distributing it evenly, but that won't matter. Doesn't need to be a minecart system. I don't know why I'm so keen on it being one. How many workshops did I need doing this? Where is it? Cloth conveyor belt. Only takes 1. Okay. Cloth conveyors. Okay. Okay, so these need to come down and possibly even consolidate onto a line. So this can feed into the back. Once I consolidate these, they can feed into the back. I think we're in the clear. So I can split this. 2 lines will go this way, 1 line will go this way and go down. Alright. Oh, I'm ready. My body is ready. I get to build the super minecart circuit. And not even because it needs one, just because I can. It's like I could have built conveyors, but this is way more fun. Oh yeah. Look at it go. I love that. Okay, so this setup. I'm trying to think. So I will want to build the workshop that turns them into shirts as well. Guess I will just do it like right here. Probably on the same level. Well, no, let me think. This could probably afford to be up higher. Actually, it needs to be up higher because I'm not going to have space to lower it. But also, it'll be linking up with a lot of animal products. Which honestly means it might even need to go higher from here, but I'll move it after the fact. Okay, so if this is a 3-way system, 1 line there, 1 line there, and then 1 line this way. That goes down. I won't connect it completely yet, but this is the general idea. So get this hooked up. put the workshop here that makes shirts, and just leave it for now. I could hook it up to a barn, but I don't really need to. Shirts, there they are. Okay, so now I need to actually build this line and put a splitter. How much farther does it need to go? Not much, just that one block. Okay, perfect. So now I need to copy this whole setup on the next layer. I guess I can actually afford to hook it up now. I'm hoping that this one line will be enough. I'm scared that it won't, because this isn't as scalable as a lot of other things are. At least not conveniently scalable. I mean, right now it's gonna go out at a ridiculous rate. Much higher rate than it needs to, or will moving forward, I think. But it's something that's worth keeping my eye on, because obviously this setup is full, so it's not going to accept anything. Yeah, definitely worth keeping my eye on. Oh, it only takes 4 seconds for a workshop to make a cloth conveyor belt? That's ridiculous. It only takes 12 seconds for a machine shop to make a metal one. Okay. So, now we need to take the wood wheels and get them over here. What level are they on? Okay, they're 3 blocks higher. I don't know why I did air quotes for that. They are literally 3 blocks higher. So I actually should probably start lowering it sooner. I could just copy this setup. Oh, perfect. It lines up exactly. Alright, I guess I don't need to pause the game while I'm doing this. It's not a thing. Alright, and the other one will pull from the next level up. So I'm gonna push through all the items that it is currently able to. And let's hook up the other one. Looks kinda nice. I kinda like it. It's not too atrocious. Okay, so now we need the mine and the stone mason, which I believe I only need 1 of each building. Yes, okay. That is fine by me. Honestly, I might as well just build the mine here, go up on the side, and then copy this system for no real reason to hook into the back of the workshop. I don't need the mine to be boosted, so I'm not going to go through the effort of doing that, even though I did with everything else, and the other stuff didn't need to be boosted, but whatever. Whatever, that's what I have to say about that. Okay. Oops, if I'm in the right category, if I'm looking for stone. That's a lot more stone than I wanted to place. Whoops. Guess I'll delete a little bit of it. And it's all gonna turn into baby stones anyway, after it eats them all. Okay, so need to go up on the side. And into a stonemason. stonemason into the workshop. So then this will start producing cloth conveyors, which will in turn allow these to start producing metal conveyor belts, which I can then begin selling to make more money. Took a massive hit in gold coins while I was working on that shit. Alright, it is going down. Just hopefully stabilize or stays long enough until I can get this done, and then I can build crowns. Okay, so how's this system work doing? I guess it's not even using the top at this point. Just whatever. I mean, yeah. The system exists in a way that it will use the top if it needs to, but doesn't currently. Okay, so now I actually have to sell these items. So, what point do I need to pull them from? I guess I'll go down. Might as well just pull. I do kind of. One's from the front and then one is up. Come on. Come on. Oh, it's like. Because the frame rate's so low when I look that direction, it's like, I don't want to place the block. I tell it to get over it. Okay. So now go up. Kinda want to be like in line with this though. Even though that's like a meaningless point of reference. Also, it's like really hard to judge. So I won't. That was close. Okay. So I'll build the output from here. Honestly, at this point... Oh wait, I was gonna say I should just delete the packager. I deleted the packager like at the beginning of this stream. Okay, so those are gonna go out faster than they otherwise would, and now I need to split this line onto it. Beautiful. Honestly, I don't know if they need to share a line. I think I could... Or I think I could have them share a line, rather. I don't think they don't. I don't think they need to be separate lines. But for the sake of system safety, I suppose I will make them separate lines. And there is just something oddly satisfying about having them fly through the little sections. I do like it when they do that. Okay. I just need a grabber, and this system will be all good to go. These will start outputting once it's more evenly distributed. I don't know where I'm going with that. Okay, so both of these are actually running at like max capacity. Part of that could be that's... I don't know where in the line it's backed up, probably this barn. Okay, no, these are producing gears at the rate. I wonder if my other lines are backed up and that's part of it. I guess, to be fair, I'm only using 5/6 of my iron setup, so all of these items can run at a surplus for the time being. Unless I've just wildly overestimated how much iron I needed, because I just went blindly off of my Excel spreadsheet that may or may not be correctly calculated. But that's beside the point. So happiness is finally over 1,000 again. But I don't think that's going to be enough to see, like, it should mean that a lot of the lines are supporting themselves, but I don't think it's enough to make any of the lines back up. Also, one thing I noticed that I didn't realize that I might want to change this to at some point But you can make bread using potatoes in 1 flour instead of 2 flour. So let's see, I need 2 flour, and that's part of the issue with the sandwiches. Is that they're kind of limited by how fast their farms are going, and the farms have to water things, which slows them down, so even though they have a ton of Omni Stones, it can only help them so much. I guess I'll upgrade them once more. Because I got the stones for it. Let me do the math even to make sure that I'm not just losing my mind. So I know that this was originally built around a 5-second clock cycle, which I guess kinda works because by default then this system would have some downtime in it. But how much grain does it take to make flour? Okay, it does take 3. I didn't lose my mind in that regard and have it set up incorrectly. Alright, so I think it's just because it has to water crops that it's not meeting demand. But because those are so boosted, at some point the slowest part of the system is supposed to be chicken. I guess we'll see about that. I mean, I can also even like upgrade the pasture if I really cared. I can upgrade all of the pastures. Oh, I didn't mean to spend Omni Stones on it, but I guess for consistency's sake now they'll both be upgraded. Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of these are limited by the wheat that's making the sandwiches, or the bread for the sandwiches, because otherwise I could be producing them at a much higher rate. The thing is that I don't need to, and so I'm not confident that I should. Okay. What has happened here? Something has reached a limit. So cloth conveyors are the limit. Stone is the limit. Did I grossly miscalculate this? Probably. One cloth conveyor in an 8-second time frame needs 3/4 stone brick. But why is everything else so backed up? I guess this is backed up because it doesn't need this much infrastructure, but I can't divide it any smaller than this. I can't get the like 1 1/3 that I needed. Or the 1.13 was it? Yeah. Wait, no, that's the wrong thing. The wood wheels. Where are the wood wheels? 1 1/2 wood wheels, but I can only make 2. Right now this is receiving 100% of the cloth input because I haven't done anything with this output. How does the average rate compare to the other items? It still seems to be going a little bit slower than certain things. I guess there's no reason not to bump it up with another mine. Which hopefully I can achieve without having to build more silos, but there's a pretty inherent risk in doing it this way. So obviously if I take 6 inputs and only have 3 outputs, you run a risk of clogging the system. Okay, so now we should see a little bit faster output. It's still not going to be like insane, but it's better than what it was. The problem is I'm like, because I'm not at the end point, it feels like I'm doing worse than I am. But a lot of this stuff doesn't need to be like as dense as it is. Because your lines exponentially improve as long as they have enough transfer, like as long as their transfer rate isn't their limiting factor, as happiness increases. And then, of course, as they go faster, they produce more items, while the town can only eat so many items so quickly. So what are we running that we're kind of like teetering on? We're kind of teetering on, seems like basically everything, which is slightly disconcerting because this is supposed to hit maximum consumption rates, but I guess we do still have 600 happiness to go, more or less. Is a lot. That is a substantial increase in the rate of items moving through the system. I know some of these were still running, like they were hitting hiccups on certain points. I have to remember what's... Oh yeah, duh, this is not... doesn't have enough fuel. That's a big issue. And one that I think I will solve next time, because it is about that time to get off if I want to get a reasonable night's sleep. And that is something I do desire. So, with this, I'm going to zoom my camera into this spot right here, because that's where I'm supposed to put a splitter. Wait, no. 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 Actually, I'm done using iron. Never mind, I don't need to look at that. So I'll look at this, because this has shirts in it. I need to take shirts out of it and turn shirts into wonderful warm coats to keep all of my townsfolk nice, cozy, and warm. Until then, thanks guys for coming out. I'm sorry I blew your mind, spicy tuna, but I hope you're still in good spirits with it all. I hope you had a good time. Until then, see everyone next time. Bye.